In this episode, we look at the past perfect tense. Hi, boys and girls. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define what we mean by the past perfect tense, explain how to form the past perfect tense, and use the past perfect tense correctly in sentences. Now, read the passage below. The passage has sentences that were written in the past perfect tense. Do you think you can identify these sentences that use the past perfect tense? Underline them. I have never seen such beautiful sights before I visited Paris in 2012. I had saved money for 5 years before I booked my trip to Paris. I was very excited. Before my trip to Paris, I had never been out of the United States. When I went to Paris, I spent many days touring the city. The city was big. Sometimes I got lost and asked for directions. I asked for directions in French. That was easy because I studied French for 2 years before I visited Paris. By the time I left Paris, I had toured many beautiful places, such as the Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame Cathedral, and Luxembourg Gardens were a few of the places I saw. Before I visited Paris, I had only seen those places on television. Past perfect tense is used to refer to an action that took place in the past before another action that also happened in the past. For example, I had completed my homework before I washed the dishes. Now, in this sentence, two actions took place in the past: completed the homework and washed the dishes. However, one action happened first and the other happened afterwards. This was the action of completing homework. Therefore, this action is expressed using the past perfect tense: had completed. So at the picture. Observe the pictures below. Identify which action takes place first. Write a sentence about each pair of pictures using the past perfect tense. So in this one, seems that this boy is fishing, but before he did the fishing, he had to bait the hook. And in this one, you see that they're building a bird house, but before that they had to do some sawing. They had to cut this piece of board before making the bird house. Let's see if we can get some more understanding. The past perfect tense is used to speak about an action that was completed before another which took place in the past. The tense is formed by using had before the past participle of the verb that occurs first. For example, he fed his birds after he had watered the plants. In this sentence, the action that happened first was the watering of the plants. Therefore, the word had is placed before the past participle of the verb watered to form the past perfect tense. This tense is often used to show the sequence of events or for storytelling. Past perfect tense can be used to state something in a positive or affirmative way, and it can be used to state something in the negative, as well as it can be used to ask questions. For example, affirmative: I had played the song before she entered. Negative: I hadn't played the song before she entered. Question: had I played the song before she entered? Elaborate. Let's extend our thinking. Your classmate Mark drew a timeline to show the activities that he did throughout his day. Mark then wrote a few sentences about the activities he participated in. He knows that he is expected to use the past perfect tense to talk about some of his activities. However, he asked you, his classmate, to help him to review it to ensure that he used the past perfect tense correctly. Observe the timeline carefully, then read the sentences carefully and help Mark to make the necessary corrections. Arrived at home, ate dinner, cleaned his shoes, went to bed, completed homework. Today, when I arrived home from school at 3:30, after I had arrived home, I had cleaned my shoes. I put them away after I had cleaned them. Soon it was time for me to have dinner. Before I ate my dinner, I completed my homework. My homework was not very difficult. After I had eaten my dinner, it was time for bed. Rewrite the passage below to help Mark to use the past perfect tense correctly. So let's read this passage now. So it could be something like this. Today when I had arrived home from school, it was 3:30. After I had arrived home, I cleaned my shoes and put them away. Soon it was time for me to have dinner. Before I ate dinner, I had completed my homework, which was not very difficult. After I had eaten dinner, it was time for bed. Evaluate. It says here, rewrite the following sentences in the past perfect tense. First one, the wind blew away the leaves we collected. Past perfect, the wind had blown away the leaves we had collected. Number two, she threw away the letters that she written. So, she had thrown away the letters she had written. 3. They showed me the pictures they took during the holidays. They had showed me the pictures they had taken during the holidays. 4. He treasured the gift he received after he participated in the competition. He had treasured the gift he had received after he had participated in the competition. 5. The boy was very sorry for what he did. The boy was very sorry for what he had done. So in this episode, we were looking at the past perfect tense. By now, you should be able to say what is meant by the past perfect tense, explain how to form the past perfect tense, and use past perfect tense correctly in sentences. So just to wrap up, the past perfect tense again is used to speak about an action that was completed before another, which took place in the past. Take care, go over as many times as needed, and we'll see you in our next episode.